The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the QATV staff or board of directors. QATV, in compliance with FCC regulations, is prohibited from exercising control over the content of independent, member-produced public access programming.
Hi there, I'm Krystyne Cheever, and welcome to the ALL Friends Cabaret. It's the show that connects you. Well, I always get excited when I can feature a guest who has enthusiasm, a zest for life, and is creative and fun and gives back. And that person tonight is someone right from the city of Quincy, Carrie Wu. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I mean,
Yes.
This is just wonderful to be back in my hometown, and
Yes.
I've lived here for 20 plus years, so really
Right.
my roots are here, and even being in the studio gives me deja vu.
Right, and where did you graduate from?
So I graduated from North Quincy High School, and I was
Okay.
a junior and senior class president there, so lots of history of North Quincy High School.
Wow, okay, and so, and you live on, where do you live now?
I actually live up north, about 10 minutes from New Hampshire.
Okay.
So it's about, 40 to an hour, depending on the drive,
Right.
with the tunnel and things.
Right,
But,
and do you, now that you're back in Quincy, are you like, wow, it's changed? What is your
It's
take?
definitely changed. Even just getting through Quincy Center was a different
Yes,
experience
yes,
for me.
yes.
But it's really nice. It's really sentimental to be back in my hometown, and it's like a breath of fresh air and something that I've missed for a long time.
Right, right. So Carrie and I met through our mutual love of pageants. I've judged the Miss Boston pageant. She is on the board and a former Miss Cambridge, right?
Yep.
Tell me how you got involved in pageantry.
Sure. So I was actually just looking for a way to be able to give back, but also to be on the stage because I'm a classically trained ballerina.
Right.
I danced at Boston Ballet for school for 10 years, and I had been in the Nutcracker 7 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
So
In Boston?
In Boston,
Oh,
yep.
wow.
Which is currently going on right now.
Yes.
So really amazing and brings
What
back
part?
wonderful memories.
What part did you-
My favorite part was actually being a party girl because I got to wear the pin curls
Yes.
and this beautiful fluffy dress. And
Right.
I had about a half an hour on stage, which is unheard of for kids to have that much time on stage.
Right, and then was that, I'm going to ask you more about the ballet for a minute. Was that like a grueling schedule when you?
For my mom, yes.
Yes, okay, yes.
Because my poor mom had to drive me back and forth from Quincy to Boston literally
Yes.
every single day so that I
Okay.
could practice. And then when the shows were going on, so that I could be on the stage, she had to bring me, wait for me, and then pick me up after I was done. So I have to give her a lot of props for that.
Did you go to through a grueling audition process to get the part?
So it was after you do it time over and time again, you
Yes.
learn the secrets, and you even know to the point of what part you're being cast for,
Right.
Because you're practicing that dance in front of the judges,
Right.
So I knew by the 7th time that I had finally gotten the role of party girl, and I was thrilled.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
ecstatic, and I knew I could retire from doing that because I had landed the role that I wanted.
Oh, that's great. And so your love for dance and the need to be on stage led you into pageantry,
Exactly,
right? Yes.
exactly. So my first pageant I actually competed in was for petite girls, so 5'7" and under. I'm only 5 feet tall,
Oh,
and that
okay.
height in the pageant world is actually unheard of.
Yes.
So for me, it was a wonderful system. I was Team Petite Massachusetts, Team Petite America, and Team Petite World. So
Oh, wow.
I held 3 titles
got-
in an international system. My first shot out of pageants. Doing
Oh,
pageants.
wow.
Yeah.
And did you, obviously you liked the experience.
Loved the experience,
Yes.
and my pageant director was an MAO contestant, so she competed in the Miss America organization and told me from there on that I should do that
And
system.
who was that? What was-
Kimberly.
Oh,
Her name was
okay.
Kimberly, and she said to me, she's in Connecticut, she said, Carrie, I think you have something more than just this. I think
Right.
you should keep going. And she's a beautiful singer, and she said, you're an equally a beautiful dancer, so why not try this system? I think you'll love it, and if anything, you can gain scholarship money even if you don't win.
Right,
So.
right. And so then when you competed, so the Miss Boston, Miss Cambridge pageant is
Yes.
just a wonderfully put together show. I'm friends with Rocky, what is his role there?
So Rocky is the executive director
Yes,
of the Miss
he's
Boston
terrific.
organization,
Yes.
and he has given his heart and soul to making
Yes.
sure that it's a wonderful organization where the girls feel loved and accepted, and it's more than just a pageant. So
Right.
we're a family.
Right. And you have terrific sponsors. You host it in like one of the best hotels
Yes.
in
Yep.
Boston. And when is that pageant?
So the pageant's in February. We usually have it in January, but last year we had it on Super Bowl Sunday. So it's actually at the
yes,
end
I
of
remember
February
that.
this year.
Right. Okay. They changed that for that.
Yep. But right now we're actually focusing on recruiting girls to compete because it's an open local. So an open local is anybody in the state of Massachusetts can compete for the title.
Okay.
So we have Miss Boston, Miss Cambridge, and Miss Boston's Outstanding Teen. And we're really thrilled about it because it's from 13 to 17 for the teens.
Yes.
And then 17 to 24 for the misses.
And you
so we have
always
a
have-
really wide range that can
Yeah,
compete.
you always get a great group of girls.
A great group of girls, and you don't just have to be in the pageant industry to compete. It can be anybody.
Right.
So my first local, I had no idea what I was doing, but it was
Right.
because of the support and the love from the people on the board that helped me through it, that I was able to win a local title, and then as Miss Cambridge, be top 10 in Massachusetts.
Right, and what was that like? Because there are a lot of girls that compete for Miss Massachusetts, and they're always like 20 to
20
25.
plus girls.
Yes, yes. So
It
how
was an
it being called
experience
into
of a
the
lifetime, so cliched,
Yes.
but
Yes.
for me it was more about needing to learn how to be in the moment and to feel the moment because I did get nervous. I got nerves. Everybody gets nervous.
Right.
And I had made the top 10, and on finals night I felt a lot better than I did on prelim night because I wasn't sure I was going to make it. But if anything, that taught me that I really have to live in the moment and love the experience.
Right.
And know that only one girl's going to walk away with the title. So not everybody can win.
Right.
But you can be a winner yourself and know that you've accomplished enough as a title holder at the
Right.
local level that if you win the state level, it's a bonus. And if you go on to be Miss America, I mean, man, that's a super bonus. But you don't have to be Miss America to
Right.
really give back and to get the scholarship money.
Well, and I
and
really think it teaches you certain skills that you may not have brushed up on. Like for me, when I competed way before you, many years ago, no, it was all about the interview. It was always about the interview. So I felt like, I really honed those skills so that when I went into a job interview, it was easier.
Yep.
It's not as, overwhelming. So there are so many ways, and then you meet a lot of neat people.
Of course, it's if anything, it's not just the scholarship and the service and the style and the success. It actually got me my first job.
No, really?
So
Okay, right.
You're building those networking connections. And when I was in the Boston Globe for being crowned Miss Cambridge, and the next week I called to get my first internship, my first big girl internship, and the guy goes, "You sound really familiar. Do I know you from somewhere? Your name just sounds really familiar." And he goes, "Oh, you're Miss Cambridge. I saw you in the name section of the Boston Globe."
Nice,
So that really
nice.
did help leverage me and
Right.
gave me actually the confidence I needed to be able to ace my job interview.
Right, and then you finished out. That was Miss Cambridge your last.
Miss Cambridge was my last title. I competed actually 4 or 5 times as a local contestant.
Yes.
Which really goes to show that it takes time to get to be a local title holder. It just
Right.
doesn't happen overnight. It may
Yes.
for some girls, but if anything, you're gaining scholarship money every time you compete.
Right.
So I actually disqualified myself by getting married.
Okay. Well,
because
that's
it's
not a bad thing. That's getting another title, which
different
is very
title.
nice.
But this would have been my last year in the Miss America organization.
Yes.
So I do miss that, but luckily and unfortunately I can go into the Mrs. world of pageantry, which is a whole different ballpark.
Yes, which brings us, and I watched Carrie compete this spring. And what was the name of that?
So
pageant?
America's Miss.
Okay, that was America's Miss, and you just shined on that stage. You really have a great stage presence.
Thank you.
For sure. And then this pageant.
Oh, this is
that you
America's
were-
Miss.
Yes, this
Yes,
is
yeah,
America's
yes.
Miss. Tell us the.
Oh, you saw me at Mrs. Massachusetts United States.
Yes,
yeah,
Mrs.
yeah.
Miss. So they have a whole world of pageantry.
Very, very.
Post,
very
we always
large
think
world.
it's different, just the Miss, but the Misses that gives you that opportunity to continue with your passion
Yeah.
of doing that.
And it's no joke, the Mrs. is actually even more competitive at some point than the Miss pageant because you've been through 10 plus years of a teen and the
Yes,
Miss pageants.
right.
And now you have a married couple that you have to talk about. It's not just the woman, it's now the couple.
Right.
And then if you have kids, it's about your family and your lifestyle. And
right.
it can be even more competitive. And me
Right.
being a young married woman actually takes it to a whole different level.
Yes.
So I have to really think about not just me, but also my spouse and how he's
Yes.
played a role in my pageantry.
Right. And so tell us about this lovely crown.
So I'm very fortunate to be able to still compete. So I went to Pennsylvania actually in September.
Yes.
And I competed just for fun because now I do it just for fulfillment as an extracurricular activity, but also because it gives me a chance to be involved in service and give back. And I actually won the exemplar title,
Yes.
which is an overall title for the whole pageant, not just because I'm a Mrs., but for the whole pageant, and it's because of my charity and my community service. So I was judged in a private interview just for my exemplar work. And then I also had evening gown, runway competition, in addition to what I was doing in my interview.
Yes.
And it was different because typically we have onstage question. I didn't have that, but what I really had was a great interview with the judges. And I could tell them about the work I was doing.
Is it same judges across the board?
Yep, there was 2 different judges actually for the regular pageant and the exemplar queen.
Yes.
But I shined in my exemplar interview, and I just knew that I had really put my heart and soul onto the table about the work that I do.
Yes.
And when I won the title, I was just thrilled.
Right.
Because it really makes me feel like I'm still good enough. I'm still keeping up with my work and giving back to the community.
No, that's great. And so you make appearances, correct?
I do. So I make at least 2 appearances a month. Sometimes
Yes.
it's more.
Right.
Because I love the charity work and I love giving back.
Right.
And it really has actually, since I've moved away from Quincy, it's given me an opportunity to learn about my surroundings and the new people that I can serve, because I've certainly loved serving Quincy and being a part of it here, but now I can expand and do even more.
So tell me about some of your volunteer work or some of the organizations you're passionate about.
Sure. So for me, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that you should just get behind one organization. So if my sister queen's doing something, I'll go help her. If I'm doing a fundraiser or a charity event, they'll come help me. But right now, actually, one of the things I always talk about is just my passion for giving back, and I was actually a hospice volunteer, and that's not something where you can wear your crown on your sash, because it's not about you, it's about the people that you serve.
Right.
So it was not just being a hospice volunteer, but actually being able to tell people about hospice. And I had a very personal experience with hospice since my mother was a hospice patient.
Yes.
At Good Shepherd Community Care in Newton, Massachusetts.
Is that where you volunteer?
So that was the hospice organization my mother was in.
Yes.
I was with Compassus.
Got it.
And it was a wonderful experience because I did the volunteer work and I got to see patients and take care of them.
Now, do they train you?
They do train you. Yep.
Yes.
So anybody can do it. So I encourage people to go if they want a volunteer experience that's very intimate and very special. You build very special bonds with these people.
Right.
But also for me, it was a chance to explain what hospice really is, because my mother was in hospice care when I was in like 20. I was very young.
Yes.
And for us, it was more of not just an experience for her, but for the whole family.
Right,
So-
and because you think of hospice
As death, that's the end.
Yeah,
You're going
thank
to
you.
die.
Right, I was going to say, but tell me something that would enlighten.
Yeah,
the
so
group.
it's really not about that. It's about the whole process and making the patient comfortable and making the family comfortable, because there are lots of decisions that you don't want to make, but you know that it's time to make them.
Right.
So they offer services not just for the patient, but for the family member. And a year after my mother passed, they still continued to follow me and take care of me and make sure that I was going to be okay.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
how
really
incredible
great.
is that? And it's
Yeah.
fully paid for through insurance. You don't do
Right,
anything.
right.
And they're there for you no matter what. I mean, when I graduated from college, they were there.
That's so nice.
They followed my pageant journey. And the most rewarding thing for me was a hospice volunteer played my college graduation for my mother in her room, in her nursing home room,
because she
couldn't come.
Oh, wow.
So that's what really inspired me to give back and to be a hospice volunteer, and that's why I
Yes.
really promote the idea of trying to do something that's totally out of the box, because a lot of people are afraid.
But you do think,
They're very, and you have to be
Everyone
ready
loves
for this
to-
experience. And
Right.
But I definitely encourage people to think about, if you don't want to be a volunteer in that capacity, there's plenty of other things you can do to give back.
Yes.
Including just even donating or doing fundraising walks or coming in
Yes.
one day a week to do office work. But it's
They
a
could
really,
use
really
your-
important cause.
Yeah, and how did you get so passionate about, the organizations you're involved with?
Because of experience. I mean, you
Yes.
just have to go to places and meet people, and there'll be things that you love that you hear them do, and you say, "Well, I can do that too." I mean, why not, right?
Right.
All of it does take time, but it's worth it. Every time you go, you learn something new.
Right.
And because of what happened to me in my experience, I have such a personal connection, and I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to get out there and do good work. And because they were able to give back so much to me, I actually was. I donated a solar panel system.
Okay.
Because my mother was my sunshine on the roof of this hospice. So
gosh,
they
that
get
is
all
so
the
nice.
electricity from the solar system.
Okay,
for
because
free.
that's a business your husband.
So we're actually both in the nonprofit solar sector too, so that we can help nonprofits get solar on their buildings.
Oh my gosh, that is
yeah,
so
in
nice.
addition
And
to
I
what
love
we
the
do.
connection.
So yeah, and Valiant Solar Technologies, but I personally have a nonprofit called Sunday Sunshine, where
Yes.
I do that specifically to help